Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Authentically Albertan. I am here at the Naked Leaf with Jonathan. Jonathan, how are you this morning?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Well, Jonathan, I want to ask you, if you didn't own a tea shop, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
So my previous career was a professional dancer, which is what brought me to Canada. I'm originally from the US.
Okay.
But have lived the majority of my life either in Europe or in Canada. And I don't know if I would still be involved in dance at this point. Maybe something still involved in dance somehow.
And what types of dance did you know?
So I was a late bloomer into dance. I didn't start until I was 18, actually. And then I went to school, studied dance at a pre-professional level, and then went into a ballet company originally. That was my first job. My heart wasn't into ballet, but we were the first company to tour China after Mao had died and they opened to the West. So that was an exciting tour. Wow. I toured across the US, through Hawaii and all sorts of cool places. But I injured myself, went back to school, got a master's in ed, and then moved to Europe and had a career in contemporary dance and dance theater before moving into teaching.
That's such a different career path from the tea shop. I would have never imagined it. Yeah.
Definitely. And I saw in my future a tea shop at some point, but more as a retirement project, more like the farmer's market weekend tea shop.
Yeah. I could picture it, yeah.
I made a career change earlier and took some classes in Mount Royal entrepreneur program just to see, do I think I could own a business? I have no business background, obviously, being a dancer. And I thought, through that program, you wrote your business plan. And by the time I completed the business plan, I thought, you know what? I think I'm ready for this change. And now, of course, I had to be a full-time job because I wasn't retiring.
Yeah.
So here we are.
You needed the income, of course.
Yes.
Okay, but that's very interesting. And, it's great to hear that it's never too late to begin dancing, to start dancing. Like you said, you're a late bloomer, but 18 is still young. I know people who, are going in like 40s, 30s, they take on new dancing.
Right.
They take classes, they take salsa, they take partner dancing, stuff like that.
Dancing is amazing. It's great for the brain, great for the body, great for the heart. It's, it's music, it's culture, it's history, it's community, it's lots of things.
It's a lot of rhythm.
Yeah, as you might know.
Yeah. No, it definitely keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
And keeps you on your feet for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Where did the idea of selling tea come from?
So, when I first started studies...
why tea?
Right. So, when I started my studies, when most people start to drink coffee because of studying and exams and whatnot, every single time I would have a cup of coffee, within minutes would throw up.
Really?
Every single time. So clearly I had an allergy. I didn't have to get it tested. It was the reaction every time. So then I just obviously started to drink tea as the alternative. And I just got more and more into it as I got older and wasn't having coffee. Then, 18, you're just buying the supermarket tea bags and the funky flavors and the tutti frutti and everything, and that's great. That's how most of us start with tea. And then as I got older, learned more about tea and the history of tea and how many types of tea there were, which was all new to me when you really explore it. So I got more into better teas, better quality teas as I got older. And as a dancer, tea was great for both mind and body. That's the start of it. So this is the Silver Needle Jasmine. It's probably one of the most beautiful teas of the whole store. I think this one's really exquisite.
Everything about jasmine is beautiful, even the name.
There's something about it. I don't really know anyone who says, oh, jasmine. Some people may like it more or less, but very few people dislike a good jasmine.
So when it comes to which one do you prefer? Which one's your favorite?
Well, right now, it's funny. I kind of shift. I'm very into Japanese green teas right now. That's my morning go-to. Mm-hmm. It's been for a couple months. Before that, I was doing Chinese black teas in the morning to start my day. And then, I don't know, my body just shifts. It says, you should be having green tea now. So I just kind of listen to that. And throughout the day, then when I'm working, I probably have like 10 cups of tea, and each one, because there's so many available here, then I just make a green, or I'll have a white, or a black, or a Earl Grey, so I'm drinking tea throughout the day. But in the morning, it's kind of what I need to start my day right now. It's Japanese greens.
So it varies on the time. Do you think it varies on the season too? Do you feel like maybe during summer it's like, okay, well, let's have some fruit tea, and then during the winter maybe something a bit stronger, something a bit warmer?
Definitely some of that. I like smoky teas.
Yeah.
But I find that's a winter thing. And I don't know why. It's like we have, cinnamon. People drink cinnamon more in the winter than they do in the summer often.
Exactly.
So I don't know if we've been taught that. Like, oh, this tastes like Christmas, so we'll only drink it in the summer because it has cinnamon in it. Or is it really just something that is the body senses? Or I don't know.
So it was something you were very passionate about, and then you decided when you wanted to have full-time income after your dance career,
Right.
you decided, okay, well, let's get into something that I'm really passionate about that I can
Right.
make money off of, which is
Correct.
great. I think it's something that a lot of entrepreneurs have about them, where they won't settle for something they don't like.
Right.
They won't settle doing their entire lives, sitting at a desk, doing something they're not passionate about.
Right.
So it's great that you're able to mix that passion with entrepreneurship.
Correct.
Can I ask, how was the process of getting into the dance school? Which one was it?
I graduated from the Juilliard School in New York. So
I heard good things about Juilliard.
big school. Big school. You would know a lot of the actors who graduate from that program. If you're into dance, there's also a lot of famous dancers who graduated from there. So it was an amazing experience. So you get a degree. I got a BFA, but they kind of make it into, you take dance history, so they can count that as a history kind of class. And so they kind of make you take these other classes to force it into a degree. So you can get an actual degree that you could then go on for a master's degree or whatever later. So it's like a real college or university degree.
Gotcha.
But I mean, there's no math, there's no science. And then when I went back to school for a master's, I was in education. So also there was nothing business wise.
And was it in the same school?
No,
Oh.
I went then to Columbia University in New York
Gotcha.
for a master's. I was never good in math in school, never good in those science kind of classes. I was more the English history side of things. So my brain isn't computer, as people still tell you, my employees will still tell you. I still can't do, I don't even know, I should be admitting this, or I can't do like the computer stuff, or I'm not good on the social media because it's all background on the computer stuff.
And it's all statistics, and you got to
Right.
do the engagement measurements.
Right.
And yeah.
So on the one hand, running a business is easy. I buy a product and I sell it at a profit. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
When my accountant says, what is the percentage of markup or I couldn't tell you. So I don't have a system of we're going to mark this thing up this much or this up that much. It's what do I think is a fair price for this? And that people feel is also fair price. And that's kind of how I price things. So yeah.
No, but that's an interesting mindset for sure. I guess you're more in line with the product rather than the pricing side of things, because you seem to be very knowledgeable
Right.
about everything, every type of tea that's on here.
Right.
So-
We certainly know our teas that we carry. We've been in business successfully this whole time. So whatever it is working.
So when you were starting out, you told me that you went to Mount Royal, took some courses on entrepreneurship. Was there something that really stuck with you from those times?
Well, it was interesting because it wasn't like a degree program. It was like 8 weeks or something. And through that process of the 8 weeks, you wrote your business plan and you got feedback from the other classmates who were all starting businesses as well, or thinking about starting a business as I was. I went in with the idea of I want to open a tea shop, but getting all the feedback from fellow classmates and things, it was interesting to see how my own process had changed in that and what the shop would look like in the end. And also the course, because it can't tell you how to run a tea shop. If someone wants an accounting firm and someone's doing a restaurant and someone whatever. So it was really to learn what you don't know about running a business is really what helped me in this. So I realized I'm not going to do my own accounting, or I will need help with accounting, which I probably knew ahead of time, as we already discussed. Numbers aren't my thing.
Yeah.
But it was good to clearly hire out what you can't do, at least at the beginning. And that was great advice. So, as an entrepreneur running your own small business, you kind of do everything. So I had to do my own marketing. I had to take my own website pictures, bookkeeping, accounting, ordering, hiring, firing. Like it's all on your shoulders to get your business up and running and doing it all. And so the one thing that I learned was, okay, you can't do it all. You can't do it all well. So if there's things you can afford to at the beginning, hire out to someone else, let someone else do. That was good advice.
Yeah.
So we had to go through 2 accounts. The first one was a bad story, but yeah. So anyway, now I have an accountant who I love, and it's been a great working relationship, and they've been super helpful. So yeah.
Why did you choose the name The Naked Leaf? Where does it come from?
Nice question. So my goal was to have teas that had no artificial flavors, colors, no preservatives. So the idea was naked, that obviously we have teas that have flavors, like we have Earl Greys and we have fruit flavors, but they would be as natural as possible. And so we still stick with that today. And yeah, that's kind of what set us off on that.
Gotcha.
And it's fun. I like the name of it. It was a little sexy without being
Too overtly sexy.
Yeah, and just kind of you could have some fun with that name, but that was where it came from, though.
I thought it was pretty natural. I mean, when I first heard it,
Yeah,
pretty natural, like
nice.
very, very down to earth.
Yeah.
You know, The Naked Leaf.
That's where we're at. Yeah,
Gotcha.
So you got it.
Yeah,
It works.
yeah, it works. Was it always the intent? Was it always the name from the beginning, or was there a change along the way?
That was a change. I thought I didn't have a name when I went into the course, and then somehow I was trying to picture like lush leaves, but I realized it's kind of hard to say.
Lush leaves.
Lush leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like the double L logo. I thought, oh, you could do cool things with the logo with that. And then someone said, no, you need that. You need a K sound in the name. I didn't know that, but they said that sticks in people's heads, that hard consonant.
That's interesting. Was that part of the course?
No, that was someone
Picking-
else
okay.
Who helped me out.
Gotcha.
And then because that natural idea was in my head, the naked, I was like, is that too much? Could that work? So we went with that, and it's been ever since.
How is the first year like? The first year is usually a trial by fire for any business. So how
Right.
was it like?
So that was interesting because that was a recession year, and it kind of hit 2 months after I opened.
That must have been 2008?
Correct. Wow, nice one. So we opened in September of 2008, and I think it was just a couple months in that was formally stated. So I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? We had nowhere to go other than up because we were nothing.
Right.
We were so new. So I don't know how it would have affected us. People came in, we were a new tea shop. There weren't a lot of tea shops. In Calgary at that time, there was Oolong tea shop, and that was kind of it at that point. I think the way we set up our shop was different than anyone else in Calgary. So we got some nice feedback right away as how our business operated.
What made it stand out?
We've been working with local artists to feature on our labels.
And that was from the beginning?
That was from the beginning.
From the beginning, okay.
And that was
That's
part of
interesting.
what was in that course at Mount Royal. I had an arts background. I wanted to do something with the arts. My arts were performance arts, not visual.
Performing arts with tea.
Right. But in my head, I still wanted to be involved in something cultural with the shop. And so in the end, we came up with this idea of featuring Calgary artists on our labels, which we're still doing today, which has been really cool. The way we feature our teas on the wall by categories. So it's very easy to see if you want an herbal tea, the description has a red background. If you want a black tea, it has a purple background. So it's very easy to see what kind of teas are what. And we have an extensive, I think, unique kind of teaware selection that others didn't have. And that's kind of when I opened this, I was trying to figure out, why am I still ordering teas online and not buying teas locally? And it's because I couldn't find what I wanted.
Gotcha.
Locally. So I'll do it myself. That's where that came from.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And now 17 years later, doing it yourself.
Here we are.
Other people wanting to buy it local, you're providing it for them.
Right. On different levels. Yeah. So we have local art on our tea tins. Our teas are in local restaurants. Then we also do some collaborative projects. The Beehive, which is our business neighbor around the corner, she makes skin lotion, creams, shampoos, body wash, all based with honey, all natural products. So she makes for us a chai hand cream and a chai body wash that are infused
Nice.
with our herbal chai teas that are exclusive to us. Sunny cider, we've done maple cider, So they used our maple chai in a Christmas cider.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
Maple chai.
Yeah, yeah.
We've worked with Citizen Brewery. They even used their
Their iced tea?
and their beer.
Oh, okay.
They use some of our teas in a couple of their beers. We have worked with Teton Bay out of Invermere. They were on Dragon's Den.
So you've been expanding even beyond Calgary.
Correct. Most of it's in Calgary, and we try and focus on Calgary. But Invermere was a nice thing. They did a tea-infused vodka, which they
Nice.
took on to Dragon's Den.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many ways you can use tea as a flavoring. We try and also to explain that to customers when they buy certain tea. You can make a cool cocktail with this. You can use this in a spice rub if you grind it up. So lots of different ways to use tea and other than just drinking it straight up.
So throwing it back to that first year, how did you overcome the recession? Because I know it was terrible for a lot of people.
So there was a competitor around the corner who has since gone out of business. And during these recessions or challenging times, we continue to deliver what we feel is the best quality at a fair price. What we have found, tea for a lot of people is still that luxury. Instead of like, oh, I'm just going to buy the supermarket tea bag, I'm still going to treat myself for that little luxury because it's still affordable. So we don't make a lot of change
During these recessions.
during those recessions. What we sell might change. So we might have an increase in tea sales. The fancy teapots might not move, but our income balances out differently. So this competitor, someone had taken a picture that said, why shop at the Naked Leaf when we're so much cheaper? Okay, so one, that's so not how I operate as a business. So you come in, I can't help you. I send you to Oolong Tea House 1 block away. Happy to send you where you might find what you need if I can't help you. So multiple things with that. One, bad business ethic.
Business practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that's not
Unprofessional.
regardless. Two, the word cheap is not a good word. Just in anyone's business, we're cheap. We're cheaper. Cheap sounds cheap. Doesn't sound like quality. Doesn't sound less expensive. It just sounds cheap. So they just made a bad choice in words. But anyway, the whole thing was kind of rude. But they went on this whole thing of lowering their prices to try and get customers in. And they had a big sign out, and a variety of things that they were doing. And they went out of business because it wasn't a sustainable way to run a business. You still have to make a profit regardless. I just think, trust what you're doing, do it honestly, do it the best you can, and do it fairly, and people are going to support you.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. If you're selling Lamborghinis, you're probably going to have a difficult time in these things.
In the recession, yeah.
Right. But life goes on for most people. Yeah, they have a harder time. I get it. We go through challenges, right? But I think if you just stick with what you're doing and trust the process and offer quality, and quality can be a range of things. It doesn't have to be the most expensive something.
One of my questions actually, thinking about setting up this place, thinking about your first year, what it must have been like, and then I got to thinking about the community itself, Kensington, being so old, what challenges did it come with when you were setting up here, when getting, I don't know, the lease for the place?
Right. So at the time, we were renting a place in West Hillhurst. So I wanted to.
So it
be
didn't
able to
start.
walk.
It didn't start out in Kensington.
I did. West Hillhurst is just right. Like I could walk here. So it's just on the other side of 14th Street. And so I wanted a place where I could walk to, preferably. So I looked in Kensington, knowing that it was going to be higher rent than if I went somewhere else. But that was the one thing people really said was location, location, location. And that is true. As often as you hear it, it's actually true.
Yeah.
So we were on 10th Street originally. And it was a good starting spot. It was a lovely space. It looked great. I liked the way we'd set it up. I liked the landlord. So yeah, I had a lawyer go over the lease because I don't know how to read that. Again, that's one of those things. Pay someone to go over that because it's going to save you money in the end.
Yeah.
And it did.
Delegate your tasks.
Right. The thing, if you don't know how to read a lease properly and what all that fine print means, you want to make sure someone does because you don't want to be screwed later. And then, so we set up there. We had a good spot, and the Beehive, which makes our, as I said, that hand wash, hand cream, and body wash, they were a business neighbor. They were really helpful, also giving us advice on the neighborhood and things. And we're part of the business improvement area, the BIA.
Right.
So I became a member of that. Everyone becomes a member that way they want to or not, but I joined the board right away to find out really what's going on in this community and be active as a community business.
Because you've always been focused on the culture side of things, the art
Right.
side of things, and
Right.
community fits really well into that.
It does. And so what I like about Kensington is that sense of community and the neighborhood. And so it was good. It was a good fit for me to be here. This year, we have invested a lot of money as the Kensington Business Association to make Christmas next level this year. We have a 20-foot Christmas tree coming in. We have a Kensington, our logo is the K. We had a custom-made 10-foot K. It'll welcome you into Kensington when you come down the 10th Street Hill. So we're really trying to knock Christmas out of the park this year as a neighborhood. I think we're more active now and really putting a push to get the community back together and stronger.
Exactly. I'm happy to hear that you guys are gonna knock it out of the park this winter. I'm sure of it.
I'm really excited for it.
When it came to distributors in the store, to finding places to get tea for your clients,
Right.
How did you manage to find that just starting out?
Yeah, so we attended the World Tea Expo, which is probably the largest expo where tea producers and tea ware suppliers come in from all over the world to try and sell you as a business to business event. So it's not business to consumer. I'm not selling you a tin of tea. I want to sell you kilos and kilos of tea. You have to be a business in order to actually attend it. I got some start there with some suppliers that we still use to this day. Now that I've been in business longer, suppliers come to me trying to sell me teas, and sometimes that works, sometimes I don't need it, but it's nice that people look for us now as a possible customer. So for better or for worse, not the most practical way to do things, we have 18 suppliers of just tea. So we could probably do it cheaper by working with fewer suppliers than buying more, because the more you buy from a supplier, that you get a break.
Better price.
Right, but we're really trying to find teas that are unique to our store. So we have 18 suppliers. Every tea shop will offer Earl Grey teas. We're exceptionally proud of the Earl Greys we have. I think no one else in town has the Earl Greys that we have. I think they're really amazing. And we have a lot of our teas are custom blended. Either we do it in shop, or if it's more complicated than I could do on my own, we pay blenders to make teas exclusively for us.
Nice. You get to test these before they go out?
Of course. There's nothing in here we haven't tested before we buy it, whether it's a single estate tea, meaning just a pure tea from Japan or a pure tea from India. Before we would buy it, we taste test it, and you go through a lot. So now, second flush Darjeelings, we have about 20. We just tasted. We'll get 2 out of those 20. That's on my to-do list for today, actually, is to order those. So we taste test everything. If we're doing a custom blend with somebody outside, like they were not doing ourselves in the store, that's a longer process. So it starts by, here's what I'm looking for. I want something with these ingredients to start. I want it to be herbal. I want it to be organic. I need it to be this or that. They may or may not ask a few more questions based on how much detail I was able to offer. Then they'll usually send 2 or 3 variations, taste test. Sometimes it's right on the nose with one of them. Sometimes it's like, oh, you know what? Number 2 is really close.
Yeah.
I need more citrus or I need more spice. And sometimes I don't even know what I need exactly. But then when you work with suppliers long enough, they know me. So they're like, what you want, what I think you're saying is, we're going to add this. And I'm like, holy moly, I never even do that.
You've gotten so deep in the game that you already have like this image of the tea that you want, this taste of the tea that you want. And you know enough about the ingredients to, you know, tell your suppliers, okay, well, send me more of this or send me more of that.
Right.
Yeah, awesome.
Sometimes they know
that's great.
better than, I mean, that's why I'm paying them, is because they know better than I do. So, you know, this ashwagandha root is a big thing now. I'm not familiar with it. I wasn't familiar with it. I don't know what it tastes like. But I ordered it. He said, oh, we're going to add ashwagandha for you because, one, it's very popular right now. And I think it'll be something you don't have. I was like, great. Like, I'm going to know to ask for it. And people do ask for ashwagandha root now because it is in the news a lot. And so I was like, great. Like,
it's like beneficial for health?
It is. It's a calming herb. It does some other things, and it's just one of those things that's kind of a buzzword now in like Ayurvedic health and things. So getting these kind of suppliers on your team is really important. So it's not just, oh, that's my supplier, and you want to make sure you have a good relationship with them. And it takes time. It's not like it happens in 2 orders, right? That's over years of establishing a business relationship. You treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect.
You also take tea tours and culinary tours throughout the world?
We have taken 2 groups to Nepal. We've really just done Nepal because we have a really amazing supplier in Nepal whose values, it's a collective.
Okay.
And so what this group is trying to do is really bring Nepali people out of poverty through tea. And so the farmers who they collect from are all shareholders in the larger collective. And then the workers at the main factory are given 1% of profit at the end of every year. So it's really a fascinating organization. We carry 3 of their teas. And through kind of a funny story, we ended up creating these tea tours with them. They were doing something also on their own already, and then I'll just give you the very fast story. I was going to be in New York. Their office is in New York. It's 2 very young Nepali guys, and their grandfather/father started this tea farm in Nepal to try and already collect people to grow tea as they were in India, and saying like, this is a viable business for
valuable source of income.
So I said, so the factory and everything is in Nepal. These gentlemen are in New York trying to sell that tea in North America.
Gotcha.
So that's what brought them to North America. So I said, hey, I'm going to be in New York. Let's meet. It's always nice to meet your suppliers face to face. So he says, oh, you should come to Nepal. We've had people come to the tea farm. I said, oh, what does that entail? That could be interesting for my customers. He said, well, we come out to the tea farm and we pick tea, we make tea, we learn about tea. I said, okay, that's great, but my customers don't need a week at a tea farm, right? So I said, well, what would you want to do? I said, oh, we want food. I want to learn how to cook, maybe a bike ride, a bike tour, all, you know, cultural things. I can't sell just tea.
Yep.
Like they're tea drinkers are not tea buyers in this way. So anyway, we talked about that. I said, well, let me see what we can do. Anyway, we have a great time. They're like, let's go out and have dinner together because we just jived. Anyway, we are friends to this day. We have taken 2 sets of customers to Nepal for the most amazing experience. We will be going again. It is cooking in people's homes, so we're not doing commercial things. It's such a great experience. We go to the tea farm. We spend 3 nights out at the farm. It's just a remarkable trip. Everyone who has gone has been blown away by it.
How did you pitch it to your customers?
So the first time I asked some customers who I thought might want to go. So I said to these customers, I said, what do you think? Would this interest you? I don't even have a price yet. Does this concept interest you? I can take up to 8 people. I asked 8 people. I didn't have a price. All 8 said yes, without even knowing a price yet, without me admitting they've never done. They are not tour directors. These are farm.
Yeah.
They own a tea farm, but they're going to organize this. All said yes. I got the price. It was fairly pricey. They all said yes. And we went and had an amazing time. So now I know what it was, so I could sell it differently. Because the Canadian dollar went down, I asked if they could reduce the price, which they kindly did. Actually, they reduced the price and they upped what some of the things we did in different ways. It was kind of cool.
What did it entail? What you guys do? How is your itinerary like?
So the first 3 days are in Kathmandu. It's go, go, go. So we're doing some of the sites. We made momos at the parents of one of the...
What's momos?
Momos are a Nepali dumpling.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So I took a bottle of Canadian whiskey. They had a bottle of Nepali. See, there's a theme here with the whiskey. So they had a bottle of Nepali whiskey. We're making momos at their home. It was so lovely because it's just a different atmosphere when you're in someone's home.
Yeah.
And meeting the parents and hanging out and having drinks together versus like, let's go to a restaurant and either buy them, or even if you make them in a restaurant, it's still different than when it's a formal cooking class. Like now we're hanging out, everyone's having drinks. So we did things like that in Kathmandu, cultural stuff. Then we flew to the tea region, and then we drive to the tea farm, whole new experience there. So we actually pick our tea leaves, roll them, dry them, fire them, and then we do a tea tasting and actually literally take home the tea leaves you pick, so everyone's just kept separate.
Yeah.
So you get your like own tea leaves.
That you individually picked out.
Correct, from beginning to end. So it's kind of a souvenir you can only do on this kind of trip.
Having known so much about tea before, how did this trip change your understanding of it, seeing the process and how it's done?
Right.
I mean, because it's different to read about it than to actually do it yourself.
Right. So that's great. When you see how much work goes into tea production, even when you buy an expensive tea and it's costing you at home like 50 to 60 cents a cup, it is so cheap for the amount of work that goes into it and how hard that work is. So when we went plucking the tea leaves, it's not like a little like picking daisy petals off. It's like you have to snap it.
And what do you look for when you're picking those?
Well, you're looking for like the newest buds, like the ones at the very top that are still small.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But it's work. It's not like a little, it's like you have to pull it each time. And when you see the professionals do it, like they can do it like, but for us, it's like, oh, snap that, snap that, snap that. And no one is going at that speed. And so we had those, you've probably seen the photos where they have those wicker baskets.
Right.
You carry it on your head, and we were wearing those. But I mean, at the end of 2 hours, we had some grams.
Enough for a cup.
I mean, they have basketfuls. And we were on like a grade 2, 3 slope. It goes up to 10. 10 is like, I wouldn't even go. I have a fear of heights. So, but none of us would have even dared it at the serious slope. Like it's
like almost 90 degrees.
Yeah. And they're on flip-flops, all up there in flip-flops, walking around.
In the cold? Because I imagine those mountains get cold.
They're not, no, it's really temperate. It's like lovely.
Ah, okay.
It's like 20-ish. But they're in flip-flops, could care less, no issue. I'm like, oh, wait, then you go back, you have to roll the tea leaves. You have to filter one, you have to filter them out, the good ones from the bad ones, and you know, that and this, and then you have to roll them. And A lot of it's done by machine, some of it's still done by hand. It's just so much labor in it. And so when people are like, oh, that tea's expensive, or I'm like, you don't get it. And that was also eye-opening for me when you see how much labor it is, and just the passion, the skill that's needed to do this. It's really impressive work. Yeah.
It really puts into perspective all that history of tea that we talked about, that we touched upon a little bit earlier, about how people have, fought for it, and it's been such an important part of human history. Totally. When you're actually there, checking out the labor and seeing how many people enjoy it throughout the world and the rewards that it brings.
But when I look at the history of tea, the beautiful tea wares that different cultures use to make tea, the different rituals behind the tea ceremonies, China versus Japan versus Korea, versus England even, and all the rituals that people have created to celebrate tea, to share tea with one another, to have a conversation. It is a remarkable plant, it's a remarkable beverage. And the beauty of it also on your own. I think it's different than making a cup of coffee just by yourself. There's something ritualistic about tea. That's one of the things we try and do in the shop, is understanding, once you have realized you really like tea, the importance and beauty of having a teacup that makes you happy when you have it, not just a mug. Something like, oh, it's my tea time now, it's my tea ritual. I'm going to have my tea, and it could be Earl Grey, it could be Tutti Frutti Blueberry, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
But that you're going to spend a few moments out of your day to brew it right, so it's not bitter. You're going to put it in that beautiful teacup or that nice teapot to create that personal ritual for yourself that gives you a few moments to separate from the office work or from your kid, or, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just like, I'm just taking me time and my little ritual that I've created that brings me joy, that gives me 10 minutes to let my brain reset. So yeah, it's remarkable.
Yeah, definitely. And just knowing all that history, knowing all the process, and being very deep into that world. I see it all around your store. I mean, back there we've got the different labels. Over here behind us we've got the different ways people drink it, whether you want the handle, whether you don't want the handle, whether you want a porcelain teacup, right, or a teapot, a stone teapot, right. Different ways that I imagine adds to the flavor, takes away from the flavor, puts a different flavor on.
Correct.
So it's really great to see all of that be put into the store, and then you feel the process, you feel the value that right. really comes right. with it.
We're not a company that sells the health benefits of tea. If people ask, we're happy to tell them. That's not what we're about. We're not selling this as a medicine, even though there are great health properties to tea. We're really about the ritual, the enjoyment, the experience. Our goal is to get you to enjoy the tea and the process of making and drinking it and sharing it, hopefully. And when people say, oh, I don't like tea, there's so many types of tea, there's so many flavors of tea that, yeah, if you're just used to that tea bag, or you've oversteeped it so it's bitter and you're like, oh, tea is bitter, so I don't drink it, give it a chance. Go talk to someone, whether it's in my shop, there are other great tea shops here in Calgary, go explore what we have to offer here and talk to someone. Let them give you some advice on how to make a good cup of tea.
What would you say is the tea that Calgarians prefer the most?
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey?
Like our number one selling tea is we have a cream Earl Grey. It's our own blend. We don't even have a close number two. It sells so much. And with that being said, we have 8 Earl Grey teas because they are so popular.
You also offer events and such. I saw on your website that you do events, you kind of do some catering, some educational. What does that entail? What's that about?
Right. So what we do is we do tea tastings, and we let the customer guide what they want. our most popular is we call it T101.
Gotcha.
So we will talk about all the different types of tea, and we will sample all the different types of tea. So we'll start with like a white tea, a green tea, an oolong, black tea, pu'er teas. And within that, then we also compare we'll do usually like 2 greens, one from Japan, one from China. They're produced very differently, they're manufactured very differently, and the taste is very different. So we talk about what brings out those different unique tastes and is different in their production. And then we compare, like usually we'll do 3 black teas, a Darjeeling from India, one from China, and then maybe like this one from Taiwan or a Nepali black, just because it's the same basic plant each time, but due to terroir, meaning like the weather, the soil, the height, how high it is, where it's grown, produces different things in the tea leaf. So we want you to taste like why the same plant produces such unique flavors and what the difference is. So it's kind of an educational thing to really give you a solid basic background into what the teas are. But sometimes we've had people, so it's like, we just want to do teas from China. Right, we'll set that up for you. We only want to do black teas. We want to try 8 black teas from different parts of the world. We'll set that up for you. And then, we also do like bridal showers or those kind of things. And then we'll do like something maybe more fun. The others are fun too, don't get me wrong. So we'll do like macaron tea pairing. So we'll do
gotcha.
Or chocolate tea.
Right.
Chocolate pairings. So we can do something. We also talk about the tea so you get some education, but it's really more about like, let's hang out.
And then you also do, tell me more about that artistry that you got going with local artists.
Okay.
That they get to design some of the tea tints, right?
Right. So can I grab one?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
So what we do, one of the cool things we've done since we've opened is we feature mostly Calgary artists on our labels. And we print 50 labels of each, 50 to 100. And when they're gone, and then we'll let a new artist have that space. And what I like about it, and what was interesting at the beginning, is people were like, oh, I don't want to be commercial. That's not what I'm about. But you never see our name on the front of the tin. So it's always really about featuring the artist. We put their website or whatever contact information they want on there. And we have a variety of photographs, art, textiles, whatever. We do a search once a year asking for art submissions. We're up to about 650 different art labels that we've produced. The artist gets it's a very small stipend. There's no money to be made in it. We do offer a stipend though for it. With that being said, I know artists have sold their work based on being on our labels. Sometimes people have asked me, they have a project, someone has written 2 books who was looking for some local artwork. So what are you looking for? I'm happy to recommend some artists that might fit that thing. So we try and support them in addition to just being on the label. We've done now, like I said, over I think around 650 different art labels. We print about 60 to 65 labels every year. I think last year we had about 550 art submissions come in, so it's always a challenge to pick. There's so much talent here.
Yeah.
But it's been a really cool project to be able to do that. And
I think that's really special because it gives the artists sort of like, especially the emerging artists, some legs to stand on, something they can put on their portfolio and say, hey, here's the project that I did for a real business.
Right.
And it's just great that they get to share that,
Yeah. So it's been cool, and we really appreciate the artists. And there's just so much talent here, and every year there's more and more. I'm just like, oh my God, there's so many artists here of quality that it's pretty remarkable.
How long have you been doing it?
This is our 17th year.
Okay, right, since you guys opened.
Yeah, so our day one we had some labels. And what's fun is that if you bring your tin back in for reuse, we give you $1.50 off when you reuse this tin. And it can be a different tea, it doesn't matter from what you originally had, but it's fun. We still get tins from 17 years ago with these original labels. And I'm like, even for me, I'm shocked sometimes when I'm like, oh my God, that says like, because we number them, like this is number 625.
Yeah.
Sometimes it says like label 8.
Wow.
I know. They've been using that
loyal
same
customers.
tin for 17 years. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you're getting a better sense of the cultural identity that tea lovers have here in Calgary. And again, you that's some reaffirmation that you've had customers from a long time coming back, still being used, still remembering to use their local tin. It's great for customers just coming back.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And sometimes when there's a really old one, I'll take a picture of them holding it and send it to the artist.
Yeah.
Just like, they still have your tin. They're still using it. So it's kind of cool.
Through so many years and so many experiences, I wanted to ask you, Jonathan, what does success mean to you? As an entrepreneur, as a tea lover?
Wow. Okay. What is success? So success is one, I can pay myself and I can pay my employees. Okay, so
generate income.
It generates income. So that's success. You just answered the other part is I've had customers for 17 years. That says success. That says, we trust you. You're doing something right, Jonathan, because they keep coming back. The success is people's feedback to me in my shop. We've tried to create a space, even just, this is 800 square feet, where all 5 of your senses are engaged. So you come in, the first thing people often say, especially if it's their first time, is, oh my God, it smells so good in here. What is that? I'm like, well, it's different every time. It's just based on the teas that we're pouring that day into tins or whatever. There's a scent that's really nice. We usually have jazz or classical music on, so people comment on that it's not just pop music or, you know, whatever. Like, people actually comment on the music often as oh, I really like the music you're playing. We try to be visually and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I think we have a really exquisite selection of tea wares in here. Everything you can touch. You can pick up all the teapots, the teacups. There's nothing that's you can't touch. We do have some warnings on some things that are like a $1,000 teapot or a $3,000 teapot.
Yeah,
it says.
So people are careful with it.
Yeah, so just, you break it, you buy it. People are allowed to smell all the teas from samples we have on the wall. So you can engage in that. If you want to sample the tea, we're happy to make you a sample before you buy it. So that, I think it's successful when people feel like when they come in here, they're, for these few minutes that we're spending together, they're taken somewhere unique, and somewhere beautiful and somewhere calming. So I find that a success. The feedback I hear directly from customers. But I think that we have so many repeat customers is success, and that the business, I can pay my employees, I can pay myself. Well, obviously, says success. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
For sure. So definitely from a business standpoint, at the same time, from that cultural standpoint and building that trust with the customers. So they always think of you whenever they're getting that urge to get some new tea.
I hope so. And like I said, there are other great tea shops, and we're happy to always let people know about them or send them there if we don't have what they want. And I think success is also that we've hit a point where we can give back to the community in different ways, through a variety of things projects we've taken on. So that feels good as a business to be able to do that. And I think that shows some level of success that, okay, let's you've helped us as a local business. Let's give back to the community in ways that work for us.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
We have one final question that we like to ask all of our entrepreneurs.
Okay.
If you had one word to describe yourself, which one would it be? There's no wrong answer. Don't be nervous about it.
I'd probably say open.
Mm-hmm.
I am open to new experiences. I am open to hearing what my customers say, for better or for worse. And sometimes they have some very clear feedback that's not positive or not what I thought I wanted to hear. But sometimes it's really valuable to get that kind of response to things. Yeah, I like to try new things. I'm open. Life is here. Let's give it a go.
Awesome. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for being here on the show. It was a pleasure, having you here, telling me everything about tea, telling me about your experiences, and just getting to know more about the city, more about Kensington.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
All right. And thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next episode of Authentic Albertan. Stay authentic.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome, man. That was a treat.
Thank you so much.